Close your eyes and remember the moment you were certain your future was set, a college decision, a breakup, a night you thought defined your life. Now, ask yourself, have those memories changed as you've grown older or after you made radically different choices? Were you ever haunted by a sense that your past somehow felt different, not just faded but overwritten, as if your timeline bent to fit who you became? You're not alone. What if tomorrow's choices are already shaping those decisive moments right now? Years ago, physicist John Wheeler designed a simple but diabolical quantum experiment. Imagine a single photon hurtling at a barrier, a crossroads between possibility and fate. Physicists could choose at the last second, even after the photon had supposedly already picked a path, whether to peak and force it to. Choose a single route or not look, and let it become a wave, a ghost over many worlds. The twist? The photon's behavior, measured in the present, reached backward, changing what happened in the past. The future made the past real. The math wasn't magic. It was measured, recorded, impossible to ignore. It didn't stop at the lab. Every day, your brain runs its own delayed choice experiment. A memory of something you regret, skipping a chance, saying no to adventure, can feel sharp and fixed. Until today's new experience or decision you're about to make retroactively shifts how you remember it. One email, one meeting, one revelation, and suddenly that old memory has new logic, new color, a different ending. The present rewrites the past, and you only notice the edit if you're paying close attention. Here comes something you can't unsee. Psychologists test people on flashbulb memories, like where you were during world-shaking news. In follow-ups years later, most people don't just misremember. They're certain their new, rewritten version is original truth. Their confidence grows as details shift, and their brain covers the edits with perfect conviction. Pause right now and dig up something old, a childhood photo, a diary page, a message sent years ago. Compare what's there with what you recall. Are you shocked? That gap might not be a failed memory. It's a signal. The future, by what you understand now and what you will decide next, is rippling backward, changing the way your timeline feels, the way your facts assemble. Physicists debate time's very nature. Is the past fixed before the present, or does the act of living and remembering build it as you move forward? Wheeler's experiment says, the world is only real when you decide to look. Your memories are not ruins you find, they're structures you build, sometimes with blueprints borrowed from tomorrow. What if déjà vu is just the shiver of your future self, an echo of the timeline being rewritten? What if the reason you sometimes doubt your own biography is that your life has retroactively edited itself, and all you have are the most recent drafts? Every time you choose, every time you remember, every time you doubt or hope or dream, the arrow of time splits, one feather pointing to who you were, another toward what you might still become. You are both author and archaeologist, sifting ruins that are still under construction. Test yourself. Recall a memory you haven't thought of in years. Choose to reinterpret it now, as if it prepared you for the next risk you need to take. Does the emotion change? Did the meaning follow you backwards? Your future is alive in your past. Wheeler proved it. Your brain lives it. And once you notice the shiver of the edit, you'll start seeing the timeline ripple forward and back everywhere you look. When time runs backward, certainty falls apart. You sit at your desk, holding a photograph you've seen 100 times, and you're sure you know its story. But then something shifts, an afterimage, a suspicion. What if it represents only one of 100 possible pasts? And your next choice could still flicker the picture like a projector misaligned. Wheeler's experiment was only the beginning. Now, neuroscientists and philosophers are showing that retrocausality is not just for photons, it is written in the mechanisms of your memory and in the code of your identity. Your brain, in every act of remembering, reopens the past. It's not a playback. It's an act of live reconstruction. Memory reconsolidation means that every recall is a rewriting, colored, sometimes colored on purpose by what you know now and what you hope or dread will come next. But the punchline is even wilder. When you genuinely expect and anticipate a new outcome in your future, your brain quietly retouches the emotional palette of your memories to align, smoothing over heartbreak, amplifying triumph. The loop is closed. The future isn't just a reaction to the past. It's a sculptor, carving yesterday out of shadow and clay. Wheeler's delayed choice paradox is the blueprint for these neurological edits. Imagine, the choice not to look at a result, the willingness not to know for sure, preserves all possible paths until you act. Until you choose, and only then does time fold backward and the photon or the memory falls into place. Consequence and cause trade places. The real story is always contingent, never final, and always up for edits by the next observer, you. Psychologists found that people who choose optimism about the future unconsciously remap their histories. Their stories about trauma or failure fade, blur, even flip into tales of fate, blessing, or lucky escape. Victims become survivors, accidents become turning points, betrayals become the price of wisdom. These aren't just poetic inventions. Repeated brain scans show rewired patterns in the emotional cortex, as if the data of the past is being rewritten by future needs. But what about free will? If your next action can determine which path in your past led you here, have you really chosen anything at all? Or are you an echo, your decisions fanned out across a multiverse of roads, each leading backward and forward at once? Every unique self you recall a you that could have been is alive inside this quantum loop, fading in and out of focus as your present mind selects a direction. Now, imagine the collective. Social scientists observe the Mandela effect, and similar memory splits across crowds. Millions share the same misremembered logo, phrase, or world event. Sometimes their conviction is so intense it borders on religious certainty. In a world ruled by delayed choice, these mass memories are not just social confusion. They are failed timeline edits, the past lingering as a ghost image, when not enough future observers collapse the right moment to hold it steady. Why does all this matter? Because it means you aren't the prisoner of your history, nor the lord of it. The stories you carry are not fossils they once seemed, but clouds, shimmering, shifting, collapsing, and rebuilding with every glance of expectation, regret, or hope. Pause now and conduct the experiment inside your own head. Cast yourself into a future you want. Picture its victories, its reliefs, its answers. Now look back at your hardest memory, the secret that shaped you. Does it begin to change color, to feel lighter on your shoulders? The future is brushing the past, not out of fantasy, but as part of the quantum engine inside you. So who are you, really, if your future is alive in your past and your every memory wavers to its hidden pulse? You are the midpoint of a timeline stretched not in a line, but in a loop. Every thought, every dream feeding energy backward, as surely as it pushes forward. Wheeler's experiment proved that the universe itself may work this way, but you feel it live every time your mind shivers with déjà vu. Every time you rewrite your story, every time your identity seems to dissolve and reassemble around a new decision. Your past is not your destiny. Your future is not an accident. They are partners in an endless dance, and you are both the dancer and the next observer. Let the world tell you time moves in one direction if it must. But tonight, put your head to your pillow and listen for the whisper. What will you choose tomorrow that will change the meaning of everything you've already lived? Because time is only as real as the story you notice. And you, right now, are still writing the first sentence.